Good afternoon. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Hruodland Retro Bronze Automatic reference F-008. This watch is available from Hruodland's official store on AliExpress for €352. It's available in two versions, the PT5000 version and the Sellita SW200-1 version respectively. This is the PT5000 version. So firstly, let's look at the box that the watch comes in, and then I'll talk you through the other items one gets with the piece. Now firstly, I'm going to level criticism at Hruodland because this is an unbranded watch box. As you can see, it says X Tools where it should say Hruodland. And I think this is a clear cost-cutting measure and it's wholly unacceptable. This is a €352 watch, so it's unacceptable to have an unbranded watch box at this price point. As you can see, the interior is lined with the usual two foam panels, which does suffice in protecting the watch in shipping. With regards to the other items, one gets an owner's instruction manual with the watch. As you can see, it's bilingual, translated into Mandarin and also English. Clear, concise diagrams, and it details the operation of the movement used, which is the caliber PT5000. This is the plastic guarantee card that comes with the watch, and I'm pleased to report that this Hruodland Retro Bronze Automatic is covered by a 2-year international guarantee, which is very reassuring. With the watch, one also gets this silicone strap as an alternative to the leather strap that comes with the watch. It's supple, it's a thick strap, and it has stainless steel quick release spring bars, which means one doesn't need a spring bar tool, two sliding keepers, good heavy gauge of metal to the buckle and tang, which is made from 316L grade stainless steel, and brushed satin finish on the top side, underside and flanks. I'll show you the other end of it. So although it's a thick strap, it is soft and supple, and it is going to be comfortable because it has a cutout on the underside to allow for sweat and perspiration to wick away from the wrist. Plenty of micro adjustment holes in the strap, so it's going to be a very comfortable strap to wear if the leather strap isn't your personal taste. And lastly, one also gets two emery board sticks. Now, this is a curiosity. These are usually used as nail files, but presumably Hruodland have included these emery boards to remove the patina and corrosion which will inevitably develop on the bronze case, and it can also be used for removing scuffs and scratches from the bronze. So it's a curiosity, but that's the reason for it. So with regards to the specifications of the piece, this is the Hruodland Retro Bronze Automatic reference F-008. The watch is clearly an homage to the Tudor Black Bay 58, and it has very similar proportions to the Black Bay 58. 39mm case diameter, we have a 47.5mm lug-to-lug measurement, a thickness of 12.3mm and a lug width of 20mm. The bronze end links can actually be removed from the case if you want to fit a NATO or Zulu style strap, and that will allow for more room between the spring bars and also the case, so that's a useful feature. As you can see, it comes on a leather strap which is 20mm and it's straight, it doesn't taper down to the buckle and tang. Now again, I'm going to level criticism at Hruodland because this buckle and tang is clearly oversized. The proportions are completely too large, and although it's a heavy gauge of metal which is going to be very durable, it really doesn't fit the aesthetic of the piece, which is clearly an homage to the Black Bay 58. It's a 39mm, and really this thick leather strap, as you can see, it's also very thick, with very thick keepers and a huge buckle and tang. The proportions of it are completely off, so it's a real disappointment, and also it really should be signed with Hruodland. So an unsigned buckle and tang at this price point of €352 is wholly unacceptable. I'll show you the underside to the case, which is solid stainless steel made from 316L grade stainless steel. It provides an effective hermetic seal to 200 meters, and it's brushed satin finish, sterile case back, no engraving, no specification and no brand logo. Now it is very comfortable against the wrist, and as you can see, as I've discussed, the two bronze end links are fitted with spring bars, so there's actually two sets of spring bars in the case, one spring bar for the strap and one spring bar to secure the bronze end link to the case. So the end links are removable, which is good. They've made the correct choice by using a stainless steel case back rather than bronze, because bronze will mark the skin, and collectors with sensitive skin will also find the bronze to be irritating. So stainless steel is of course sterile, and therefore it's not going to irritate the skin in the same way that bronze will, so it's not going to patina or develop corrosion either, so that is the correct choice. It is flat and low profile, coin edge finish, and finished to a high standard, so they've made the right decision by not using a bronze case back. With regards to the specifications, ceramic bezel insert, which is fully loomed with C3 patina lume. I like the use of C3 Superluminova, lume pip and triangle at 12 o'clock, and the minute ticks are indexed in the first quarter as per the Tudor Black Bay, which this is an homage to, and also the Black Bay 58. I like the use of a snowflake dial rather than the Submariner dial layout or the Black Bay dial layout, and I think this is something that Tudor themselves should have done on the Black Bay and the Black Bay 58, using a snowflake dial as per the Pelagos and the Tudor Snowflake Submariner rather than the Submariner dial layouts. I think the Submariner dial layout does look good, but the snowflake dial layout better works with the snowflake hands. The C3 patina lume is well matched on the ceramic bezel inserts, the printed indices, and also the snowflake hands, so they've got the colour tone match very well. I also like the chapter ring, which gives it a vintage aesthetic, and the dial layout is very aesthetically pleasing. I like the fact it's not over branded, it simply says Hruodland with the anchor brand emblem at 12 o'clock, automatic, 660 feet equals 200 metres, and professional. So it's a well thought out dial design, and it's a dark navy blue, which perfectly matches the navy blue ceramic bezel insert. Low profile coin edge finishing to the bronze bezel, and it is finished to a high standard. I like the low profile coin edge finishing, it does look very nice. So I'll give you a wrist shot and you can see how it fits on my 8-inch wrist. Now as you can see, I can only just engage the tang into the last hole in the strap, so it's just a fraction too short for my 8-inch wrist to engage the end of the strap into the two keepers. But however, for the majority of collectors with a 6 to 7-inch wrist, this strap is going to fit no problem whatsoever. It's a disappointment that they're using a straight 22mm strap rather than a strap that tapers. The strap is also too thick, it feels very stiff and therefore uncomfortable. I think a NATO strap, a rubber strap, or a tapering leather strap would be a better option to this, so it's good that they've included a silicone rubber strap, which would be more aesthetically pleasing. Really, this thick leather strap doesn't look right with the 39mm head of the piece. It's a relatively low profile piece at only 12.3mm, and that's thanks to the use of the PT5000, which is a low profile movement. The PT5000 is a clone of the ETA 2824-2. So the benefit of that is it is lower profile than the Seiko NH35A, for example, and that is the correct choice to make the watch low profile at only 12.3mm. Comfortable piece to wear despite the stiff and uncomfortable thick leather strap with the oversized bronze buckle and tang. So good looking piece. It does do a good job of being an homage to the Black Bay 58 because it has a very similar 39mm case and it has the same 20mm lug width. The 20mm lug width is the correct choice. It does balance the 39mm head of the piece very well. So very comfortable, and I like the dome sapphire crystal, which has clear AR coating on the underside, very aesthetically pleasing, and the AR coating does a very good job of reducing the glare and the highly reflective nature of the snowflake hands. Right, so let's do a lume test and we'll see how the lume performs when it's charged up to its absolute maximum. Now this uses C3 Superluminova, and as you'll know from my previous reviews, that is a personal favourite of mine. I really like the green tone of C3, which replicates tritium lume, and tritium has now largely been discontinued, although it is still used by several watch brands in tritium tubes, for example. Marathon is still using it, for example. I do really like the green tone of C3 because it does look very close to tritium. Right, so that's now fully charged, and as you can see, it has not disappointed. The C3 Superluminova is top grade. It's glowing brightly and it's continuing to glow for a good length of time. The fully loomed ceramic bezel insert is very well executed. They have fully loomed the first 15 minutes, the first quarter of the bezel insert to a high standard. Large lume plots of lume on the printed indices and also the snowflake hands. So the orientation of the dial is excellent and also the legibility. And I like the perfect symmetry of the dial with the absence of a date complication. So it's a good looking piece, and I really like the choice of C3 Superluminova rather than BGW9 Superluminova, which would glow blue. Right, so let's test the bezel action. 120 click unidirectional bezel, as one would expect. Light bezel action, minimal resistance to it, nice loud audible clicks. It feels even all the way through the 360 degrees of rotation. But however, there is a lot of lateral side-to-side play, which is very disappointing. There is also significant back play. If you look closely at the triangle on the bezel, you can see there is significant back play. And unfortunately, the back play is compounded by the significant lateral side-to-side play, so they both work against each other. One has lateral side-to-side play and back play, and that makes for a very sloppy bezel action. As you can see, there is significant back play all the way through the 360 degrees of rotation. So let's check the alignment. Now, I'm pleased to report that despite the lateral side-to-side play and the back play, the alignment of the Lume pip and triangle at 12 o'clock perfectly aligns with the triangle index on the dial. So it has correct alignment, but unfortunately it has very bad back play and also very bad lateral side-to-side play. And this is a real disappointment for this watch, because this is a €352 piece, and really to have poor bezel action on a €352 piece is wholly unacceptable. The crown is solid bronze, coin edge finished and signed with the Hruodland brand emblem, which is an anchor, as you can see. So let's test the crown action. It's smooth. The threading of the bronze crown interfaces very well with the stainless steel crown tube, and due to the PT5000 it's got a characteristic pop which pushes the winding stem out of the movement. So in the first position it's the manual wind position, and one can manually wind the caliber PT5000 to its maximum 40 hours. It's an absolute pleasure to feel the tension in the mainspring gradually building up. So, because it's a PT5000, it does have a date complication. The date wheel is present and it's underneath the dial, but one cannot see it because of the absence of a date window. So pulling it out to the first click is actually the date setting position. Pulling it out to the second click is the time setting position, and as you can see I have now hacked the movement. I've stopped the second hand dead, so one can set the time precisely to the second. Nice light resistance to the PT5000 gearing. It's one of my favourite movements. I really like it. It's a direct clone of the ETA 2824-2. So it is a reliable, well proven movement, and I like the fact that it's also an accurate movement. So absolute pleasure to set the time on the PT5000. Pushing it back in, it's got a nice positive click, and as you can see that restarts the movement. So let's test screwing it back down. Immediate thread pickup. There's a very good interface between the internal thread of the solid bronze crown and the external thread of the stainless steel crown tube. The threads mesh very well done. So Hruodland deserve full credit for producing a well executed solid bronze screw down crown, which provides an effective hermetic seal to 200 meters of water resistance. Right, so let's discuss the movement used. It used the caliber PT5000. So the PT5000 is made in China by HK Precision Technology. It's a reliable, well-proven movement, and it's been in use for a number of years. Now, the PT5000 came to global attention for positive reasons in 2018, because it was used by a Chinese brand in a watch which was measured at the Glashütte Observatory in Germany to within chronometer limits, and it was certified as a chronometer at the Glashütte Observatory. So that was a very impressive achievement for a Chinese movement to be chronometer certified at the Glashütte Observatory. Now, of course, it couldn't be certified by COSC because COSC only certifies Swiss-made movements, but the Glashütte Observatory are credible in certification of chronometer movements, and HK Precision Technology, the makers of the PT5000 in China, deserve full credit for that. So since then, the PT5000 has gained global recognition as a good quality clone of the ETA 2824-2. The PT5000 and the ETA 2824-2, the architecture of those movements are very similar to the SW200-1. The only difference to those movements, the ETA 2824-2 and the SW200-1, is the SW200-1 has an additional joule added to give it 26 joules. The PT5000 and the ETA 2824-2 have 25 joules respectively. All those movements run at the same beat rate and frequency, 28,800 vibrations per hour and a frequency of 4 Hz. Now if you look at the second hand, you'll see it has a characteristic smooth sweep, which is something that 4 Hz movements gives you. With Seiko movements such as the NH35A, they run at 21,600 vibrations per hour and a frequency of 3 Hz. Now the negative of a 3 Hz movement is the second hand judders or stutters around the dial. It doesn't have that smooth characteristic sweep of a 4 Hz movement. Now I really like 4 Hz movements for another reason. I regard 28,800 vibrations per hour to be the sweet spot with regards to it's the perfect balance between power reserve and accuracy. If one increases the beat rate of a movement to a high beat rate, the accuracy improves, but the negative trade-off is the power reserve decreases exponentially. Now, if you reduce the beat rate, you increase the power reserve, but then inevitably you sacrifice the accuracy of the movement. So one has to balance the two, accuracy and power reserve. With 4 Hz, it is the perfect balance because one can have 40 hours of power reserve but chronometer grade accuracy. And as I've discussed, the PT5000 has attained chronometer grade accuracy at the Glashütte Observatory. So just to clarify what chronometer grade accuracy is, cross chronometer limits are -4 to +6 seconds per day. Now the stated accuracy of the PT5000 is stated by HK Precision Technology as being ±12 seconds per day. Now I'm pleased to report that this one is very well regulated to within ±12 seconds per day, and when fully wound to its maximum 40-hour power reserve, it runs consistently at +3 seconds per day, which is actually within COSC chronometer limits of -4 to +6. So this is why I regard the PT5000 very highly, and I regard it as an equal alternative. It's equal quality and equal accuracy to both the ETA 2824-2 and the Sellita SW200-1. So lastly, I'll summarise the piece. What do I think of it overall? Well, when I'm considering reviewing a watch on my channel, the watch should meet 2 criteria. It should be both excellent quality and excellent value at the respective price point. So €352 is the price point of this watch. I regard it as okay quality and okay value. Now the reason why I say okay quality and value rather than good or excellent is because of the poor bezel action. I really regard it as inexcusable for a €352 price point watch to have back play and lateral side play on the bezel action. This is a fundamental that watch brands have to get correct regardless of the price point. Now the other thing which is a clear disappointment is the use of this abhorrent thick leather strap with the oversized bronze buckle and tang, and it's unsigned, which is a clear cost-cutting measure, again wholly unacceptable. There are just too many cost-cutting measures, right down to the Pelican style case, as you can see, which is branded as X Tools. It should be branded by Hruodland. So these are the kind of things that one can excuse with a low tier piece costing under €100. For example, if this was a Pagani design PD1661 costing circa €70, one could forgive things like the unbranded Pelican case and the oversized buckle and tang, which is unsigned, and also poor bezel action. But this isn't a €70 Pagani design PD1661. This is €352. That is San Martin level price point, and it's also getting close to a Steinhardt Ocean 139 price point of €400. So at €350, despite having a quality movement, the PT5000, one cannot excuse these kind of cost-cutting measures and shortcomings. So I would describe the quality and the value as okay, because it does have very high quality C3 superluminova, it does have a fully lumed ceramic bezel insert, and it does have AR coating on the underside of the double dome sapphire crystal. So these are strong specification points. Screw down crown, screw down case back, 200 meters of water resistance. So bronze is an expensive material compared to stainless steel, and therefore they deserve credit for using a more expensive material. But it's just a disappointing piece overall due to the cost-cutting measures, the poor quality control, the poor build quality, the execution of the bezel. These are all disappointments. So I'm going to recommend it to you for your consideration, but bear in mind the shortcomings, bear in mind the cost-cutting measures. These are things that you want to consider. So I hope you've enjoyed my review of the Hruodland Retro Bronze Automatic reference F-008. Please feel free to post your own comments below the video. Thank you very much.